Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. I'm going to be talking about R. Kelly. I know you guys have heard so much, especially in the last few days with this documentary, 3-day documentary on Lifetime. And R. Kelly did respond to it. Let me just read the article about that, and then I'll just go in with my take on things. Lifetime's docuseries Surviving R. Kelly not only broke viewership records, but provided us with an appalling glimpse into the unspeakable harm he inflicted upon dozens, if not hundreds, of Black women. And while the rest of us were glued to our television sets over the course of the 6 episodes spread out over 3 separate nights, TMZ reports that Kelly was disgusted by the gruesome details unearthed in the docuseries and refused to watch a single minute of it. Reportedly, he also believes the documentary is merely a vendetta against him as opposed to a call for both accountability for his behavior and justice for those he tormented. Furthermore, his team reportedly informed him of which individuals appeared in the docuseries, and he denied knowing half of them, while dismissing the rest as traitors with self-serving motives. Kelly also claimed that individuals who were willing to go on camera to defend his character were denied the opportunity to do so. And lastly, according to one source, he's going to sue everybody who had anything to do with this. In other news, R. Kelly is full of shit. Keenly aware of the attention the docuseries would inevitably draw, he released a new song, Born to My Music, in the days leading up to the premiere of Surviving R. Kelly. But instead of celebrating his latest release, the world has instead focused its attention on admonishing his behavior, purging his music from our lives, and engaging in long overdue discussions on the persistent dangers that Black women and girls face. Now, I watched the series all 3 days. I made sure I didn't have anything to do. I did tape it, my DVR, just in case. After watching it, I did delete it all because I don't want to watch it again, but I am so very glad that I did watch it. I watched a mother try to find a couple of mothers try to find their underage daughters by being held by R. Kelly. The manager of one hotel where one of the girls were, the mom talked to the manager, gave him a story that she was going to surprise him, I think it was, and it showed her begging her daughter to come home, telling her daughter she loved her, meeting up with her daughter, being told that the police was called and she was not allowed back into the hotel. Then the daughter contacting her mom again to meet her, and then the mom was in the hotel restroom. The daughter came into the restroom, and her name was Dominique, the daughter, and she fled with her mom with the clothes on her back. Now, I'm not going to give you a blow-by-blow of the docuseries, Beautiful Souls. I watched her recap and listened to her recap, and she does such a beautiful job at that I'm going to leave it to her to do that because she just did it beautifully. I'm just going to give my take on it and how I felt about it and how I feel about it. Now, in that little episode where the mom was had finally contacted her daughter and they end up going off together, she ended up getting her daughter. The daughter returned in 3 days to R. Kelly, and then the daughter went back to the mother. And that was the third day. That touched at me. That touched and tugged at my heart. I could not help. I mean, I was a mess. Just thinking of the things that R. Kelly did to this child. She was tomboyish, and so he played on that. So he had her hair cut short like a boy. She dressed like a boy. And that was, according to the docuseries, he played on that. And that was his little fantasy boy toy. So you can imagine, and me imagining just shook me of the things he did to this young lady. And I just can't help but to put myself in that mom's place because I have a daughter. A lot of you guys have daughters. Nobody is safe around R. Kelly. Whether you have a daughter or son, I would not let any of my children have anything to do with him. They could have the most beautiful voice and a career waiting. And if R. Kelly was the way that I had to go to get my child discovered and their big break, well, you know what? I'd rather them work at Walmart. I know they have a movement going to mute R. Kelly. And a lot of you, when he has concerts, a lot of you can't go to each city and picket and demonstrate and try to close that down. But what you can do, stop listening to him. Stop buying his music. Don't go to the concerts. Don't stream any of his music. He is using his influence, his money, because he's paying people off, allegedly. I'll throw that in there. We all know it's true, but I don't trust the joker. So I'll say allegedly. Allegedly, in my opinion, he's paying off law enforcement. He's got crew working, doing his dirty work. He's paying his crew. And also, I'm sure he's paid some parents. Allegedly. Now, it's been a long time that I've listened to anything from R. Kelly. And my favorite song was that Step in the Name of Love. And I liked the video and they twirling around and I tried to do little steps. No more. It's been a while. I even went, when I went to karaoke, and this has been about a year ago, I think. And in between, the people were coming up and singing. They played, in between they play songs. So, you can dance a little bit while the next singer gets ready. Well, they played R. Kelly, Step in the Name of Love. Now, before all this, I would have got up and, tried to do a few steps myself. No. I went up to the DJ and I just asked him, could you not play anything by R. Kelly? Because I am boycotting him. And I didn't tell him a lot of what was going on, but because he wasn't privy. He was a non-black. And he was not privy to the things, at least he acted like he wasn't. I'm not sure. But anyway, he acted like he wasn't privy to the things that R. Kelly has done. So I just told him a couple of things, and I asked him again, would he not play R. Kelly music? And so he says, okay. Now, when I'm not there, he might play his music, but that's on him. If he would have played R. Kelly anyway when I was there, I would not have gone back to that karaoke. I knew the owner of that. It's held in a restaurant. I know the owner of the restaurant. I know the staff there. And so I would have went to the owner next, and then I would have not gone. But I'm almost positive the owner would have said, don't play R. Kelly. Only because when I go there and I eat my food and, I spend a little money and I tip good. So he would have been missing my business. So if I got to play that game, I will play it. You play R. Kelly, I won't go to your restaurant. You play R. Kelly, I won't go to a karaoke. Play R. Kelly again and see if you're going to miss my business. Now, I might be the only one, but that'll be the money you miss when you tally up what you made that night. Now, by boycotting him, by muting R. Kelly people, that would help tremendously, because he can only do what he does because he has the money. Maybe not the money he was making before, but he's still making money. Well, after this series, I don't know. Hopefully that will be diminished. But you know what? By muting, and he doesn't have the money to keep those ladies captive, he'll have to let them go. He can't afford to keep them. He won't be able to afford to pay the staff. He won't be able to pay off law enforcement or lie to parents and pay and give them some money to keep quiet. He won't have that money. So I'm thinking, if that would only happen, then the rest of the girls that's there, he'd have to release them. I'm hoping that would be the case. And he wouldn't be able to recruit any more underaged or young ladies. He'd have no money to take care of. Now, over the course of these 3 days that he's been, that series, videos have been more so on YouTube and, on different sites. And I remember looking at one where he was in a church and he was singing. He had sung, "I Believe I Can Fly." Now he's in a church, and then I saw where some ministers there was praying for him and praying for him and about him and referring to him as a man of God. R. Kelly, a man of God. And he's got his eyes closed and his hands up like he's receiving this prayer and looking like, he's trying to be spiritual. And that's hard to do sometimes when you're the devil incarnate, trying to look like, you got something godly in you. But in church, he has fooled many a church. He started in the church, so the devil know just what to do to trick him. So, but because of that, I wouldn't step foot in that church. Them church members knew what he was accused of. He's been accused of this. He's been doing this for years. So, and to call him a man of God, I mean, that made me sick to my stomach. Now, being in church, that would have been the perfect time if after he was prayed for and he repented and you didn't hear any more of him and these young women and he turned over, you would say, okay, that was a good thing he went to church. He's been delivered. That's not the case, guys. He's talking about suing people, and these people are lying. That was on TV telling the survivors are lying, telling their story, and that they have a vendetta against him, and he doesn't know half of the people. No, have you messed with that many people that you forgot? Is it that many ladies that you have forgotten? And how about those stories that was coming out that he allegedly had herpes? He paid one girl off, I thought I heard, having sex with all of those young ladies, evidently with no protection. Oh my God. How sick is R. Kelly? R. Kelly is a monster. There's no nice way to put it. There's no way I'm going to sugarcoat it. R. Kelly is a monster. Ladies, he is the boogeyman. There is a such thing as a boogeyman, and his name is R. Kelly. Now, there was another family that thought they can do the same thing as the other family that went to the hotel, and they kind of, staked the hotel out and talked to the manager and got up to the room. They thought they could do the same thing regarding their daughter, and they were unsuccessful. And this was in Chicago at his recording studio, I think it was. And they have not seen their daughter, according to the docu-series, in 3 years. In 3 years. Just think of it, parents. Your daughter hooking up with the likes of R. Kelly. They're not allowed to call you or receive calls. Oh, and let me mention one more thing. They are being physically abused, sexually abused, but mentally abused. And if they do something that R. Kelly does not like, he won't feed them. He will not feed them. That will be the punishment. He'll slap them up, slap them around, and then they're denied food. Just think of it, parents. All this stuff is happening as I'm making this podcast. Some little girl is not being fed because she says the wrong thing. He likes the Chicago Bulls. He likes the Chicago Bulls. She likes another team. So he slaps her around because she has an opinion of her own. No, you don't have your own opinion with him. If it differs from him, you get slapped around or not fed. So he's controlling. He gets them to the point where they depend on him for everything. They can't go to the restroom. They can't eat. They gotta ask permission. And they have to call him daddy. He is a sick puppy. He's not even a pedigree. He's a mutt. He is sick. And he probably have told many. Now, I know he did tell one girl because she was scared to say anything because he said he would cause harm to the parents, to her family, make it difficult. So some of them are probably thinking, I can't go if I say anything or do anything, run away or what have you. He's going to hurt my family. Man, like I said, it was so difficult to watch this. The tears would not stop. I had to keep watching. I had to know all what was going on. Heard a lot of things throughout the years, but for the survivors, the parents and other people to come out and just tell it, can you imagine what they've been through, people? Can you imagine what those ladies, those young girls, and some of them are underage, little young ladies, I should say, what they've been through? And some of them are probably loyal because he might have told some of them that your parents don't want you. Nobody love you but me. So some of the ladies are probably thinking, he's all I got. I got to do what he say. He's all I got. Google Stockholm Syndrome. I imagine many of them have that. And some could be just thinking of a way they could escape as I speak. They're trying to strategize. I know it's got to be somebody in his clutches that's trying to figure out, how can I get out of this? So people, I invite you to mute R. Kelly. He's gone too long doing this. And I'm glad more and more of the entertainers are coming out and saying that this is enough. We want nothing to do with R. Kelly. And they are behind the Mute R. Kelly movement. So, that's what I have to, bring you today. It's been so much about this, and I've been listening to other YouTubers, and I wasn't sure whether I wanted to come on and do it, but I felt compelled to. I know of young ladies who have dated and had relationships with much older guys, and I saw the outcome of that, the control, moving the young ladies miles and miles away from their family and friends so they could control her, so the guy could control the young lady. I've seen this a few times, and I know many of you know of some, situations that way. Well, R. Kelly, I would say, it's times 100 of the worst case scenario that you know of. R. Kelly, the way what he's doing is times 100. And as I'm watching this docuseries, I'm thinking of different young ladies that have mistakenly gotten with older men. They're late teens, and he's in his 30s, almost 40s, and then some of them are 40s, almost 50. And some of them are prepping the young ladies for whatever agenda they want. Some of the older men want to prostitute the younger women, pull things on the younger women that they know they can't do with an older woman with her experience under her belt. So let me get a young little tenderoni and train her and mold her into what I want her to be. Boy, some sick people in this world. R. Kelly is demonic. He's a monster. And mark my words, people. All dogs have their day, and he's going to have his. Whether he is going to be taken to court and tried for all of the offenses that he has committed against minors, that may never happen. I hope so, but it may not ever happen. But you mark my word, that he's going to get his. And I assure you, he's not happy right now. He's not at peace. That he is being tormented by the very demons he serves. So I'm in it now because I can go on and on with that. But I'm going to end this now. Everyone, I hope you had a good weekend. And I will be back with another story. Subscribe to my channel. Hit the like and the bell for further notifications. And everyone have a good night.